number one mistake that makes motorcycle riding exhausting. Stay tuned. So have you ever finished a ride and thought, I'm absolutely beat? Your neck hurts, your shoulders ache, your body aches, your concentration's gone, or at least it's fading, and honestly you feel like you've just done a full day's labour? Well, most people, most riders, blame the bike, blame the weather, or blame the age. But in all honesty, there's only one thing to blame. After years as a police motorcyclist, a tour leader, an advanced instructor, bike safe assessor, all the rest of it, you've seen the other videos, so you know what I've done in the past. But after all those years of riding, in excess of 1,000 miles a week, and spending days in the seat touring across Europe, I can tell you something interesting. In most cases, fatigue isn't caused by the bike, the weather, or your age. It's caused by the way you're riding it. And there's one mistake that I see riders doing continually, which is making them exhausted when they go out for a ride. Now, if you've watched my other video, Never Get Tired on a Motorcycle Again, firstly, thanks for watching it. The response to that video has been incredible. Today, for instance, it's just skyrocketing. So thanks for watching it, and for everybody who's commented on it so far, thanks again for that. I do try to get back to everybody. At the time of recording this, I've replied to everybody on there. So once again, thank you. But if you have watched that, then this video is going to go just a little bit deeper. I might overlap a few things what I've mentioned on there, but this will be a little bit deeper than the other one. So hopefully you'll enjoy this one as much as you enjoyed that one. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to say that this video is not about saying one system of riding is superior to another. I'm not saying the police riders are better than other riders. I'm not getting into that argument. There's no need to. I'm retired now. I did my time. I enjoyed the time I did. I was getting paid to ride a bike every day, for God's sake. Who wouldn't enjoy it? What I will say is that there's brilliant riders from every background. But I can say from experience, because I wasn't always a police biker, I did a lot of miles and a lot of years before I got to that stage. But the one thing I can say is that the police riding style, if you want to call it roadcraft, taught me one thing, and it teaches you very quickly, is that the smoother and more relaxed you can ride, the less tiring it becomes, the less energy you use. And once you understand that, riding becomes easier and more enjoyable. So what is the biggest mistake? The number one mistake that riders make is too much tension in the body. That's it. It's quite simple. Too much tension. And most riders are carrying about massive amounts of tension without even realising it. They've got gorilla grips. Take the gloves off, you can see white knuckles. The body's stiff. They're not breathing relaxed. Raised shoulders. Clenched jaw. We've all seen it. We've probably all done it at some point. But tension in your body transfers to the bike. And what's really interesting is that these riders think that they're relaxed. The exact opposite is true. When I was teaching, you can identify it. When you're behind somebody, you get to identify it. And as soon as I tell them, blow out, I mentioned this in the other video, blow out, relax, you can see the whole riding system changes immediately. It's like you're following somebody different. The bike's more smooth, they look more smooth, everything's more smooth. They're not tense anymore. So why do riders become tense? Usually it comes from mental overload. And you see it a lot in learner riders, because they're having to process so much new stuff. They've got to learn about the bike controls. Maybe it's the first time they've ridden on a road. The nerves kick in. Everything is a contributing factor to making them tense. On older riders or more experienced riders, it could be you're going a little bit too fast for, I won't say for your capability, but possibly you're going a little bit too fast for how quickly you can process the information what's coming back to you. And that causes a bit of unconscious nerves, which will make you tense. You start to rush your observations. You might start going into bends a little bit quicker and thinking, oh, I've overcooked it. And the last thing to do is go tense, because if you're in a bend and you go tense, do you know what's going to happen? The bike straightens up. And I think I mentioned this in the other video. If that does happen to you and you think you're overcooking it, blow out, relax, and I'll guarantee 99 times out of 100 that bike will sort itself out and it will go round the bend. And don't get me wrong, this is not a free pass for getting round any bend, because sometimes you may well have overcooked it and there's nothing what blowing out or trail braking or anything can do to get you out of that situation. If you've gone in far too fast, you might not be coming out the other side. So bear it in mind. This is just a bit of an advice. If you're slightly overcooking it, it's a lot of the time, if you're too tense, you're not going to make it round there. So make sure that that body's relaxed, your breathing's relaxed, and you flop. So smoothness. It's not just about looking good. Smoothness reduces workload. When your observations improve, your speed will improve, your planning improves, your riding improves. Your brain calms down. And what happens when your brain calms down? You relax. And a relaxed rider makes a smooth rider. And that's why experienced riders, regardless of what they are, whether they're racing riders, police riders, paramedic riders, touring riders with loads of experience, but that's why experienced riders often look very smooth. And they make it look effortless. Not because they're superhuman, it's just that they're simply ahead of the motorcycle mentally. When you're riding day after day on a tour, for instance, and you're doing mountain passes, twisty bends, you might be riding through bad weather, you might be riding on some bad roads, but you quickly discover that brute force doesn't work constantly. It might get you out of something now and again, but if you're doing it all day, you're going to be absolutely knackered at the end of the day, never mind the end of the tour. You can't muscle a bike around for 8 hours and feel good, not unless your name's Marc Marquez. And you'll find that the riders on long distance tours who survive the day without the aches and pains are the one who are more relaxed. They've got a loose grip, they've got nice regulated breathing, they've got good forward observations, minimal unnecessary input into the bike. And something else happens too. Relaxed riders tend to make better decisions because you've got one less thing to worry about. Fatigue destroys observation quality. It narrows your thinking, and that's when mistakes start to creep in. So how do you fix it? It's quite simple really, and there's just a few little things that you need to do. Check your grip. Every few minutes, and I mentioned this before, just say to yourself, am I tense? If you're tense, just relax your grip a little bit. Take a deep breath in, blow out, let the shoulders drop. Feel yourself drop into the seat. Instead of being upright like this, shoulders stiff, arms stiff, tight grip, just nice and relaxed. And you will notice a massive difference almost immediately. And of course the other thing is to look further ahead. This is massive. The further you look ahead, the longer the time you've got to process what's happening around you. If you've got a long straight road, look as far ahead as you can see. If you've got to change your position, if it's safe, move your position, move out onto the offside a little bit more. Don't even be scared to move out onto the offside of the road. As long as you've not got double white line system, you can move, and there's nothing coming obviously, but you can move out there and you can extend your view. We used to do it all the time, and people used to think, what's he doing sitting there? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm reducing my reaction time because I know what's happening up that road half a mile away or even further. Obviously you're not going to sacrifice your position for safety. So safety is always paramount if you're going to change your position to increase your view. And that's something we can go on to in another video. Another one is stop trying to ride fast everywhere. Some riders turn every ride into a low-level emergency run. Constant acceleration, harsh braking, reacting late, and that's exhausting. There's no wonder you feel knackered at the end of the day. Just slow it down a little bit. And all these things I've mentioned, regardless of what your experience is, what your credentials are, every rider needs to work on these continuously. Even experienced riders tend to drift into tension sometimes. It could be a long day, heavy weather, heavy traffic. It happens. But once you're aware of it and you can identify it, you can catch it early, and riding suddenly becomes easier again. So tension, that's one of the biggest things I took away from my experience as a police rider, as a tour guide, as an instructor. It's one of the things that we will all suffer from, and every one of us can do something about it, quite simply. Be able to identify the onset of it, and be able to identify what you need to do to get rid of it. And I guarantee you'll feel a lot better at the end of your rides, and your riding will improve just on that one simple thing. So if you've enjoyed this video and you've not yet watched the how to not get tired or never get tired on a motorcycle ride again, click over and have a look at that one. I'll put a link in the box above. The two videos do go together quite well. The other one goes into stuff a little bit more in detail, or gives you a few more things what can make you tired at the end of the day. This one concentrates on one simple rectification. This video explains why you get exhausted. The other video explains how not to get exhausted. And I'd genuinely love to know your thoughts. Leave us a comment below. If you've enjoyed it and you find this useful, give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. What causes fatigue for you when you're riding? Is it wind? Is it weather? Is it your bike? Is it your age? Or is it just tension? I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.